Hey everybody, it's Anna and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be bringing you a review of the novel Sing, Unburied, Sing by Jessamine Ward. This is an advanced copy that I got back from the old bookstore that I used to work at. It's not out in paperback yet, but I wanted to just give you a little bit of my thoughts about this book. This isn't a new release per se. It actually just won the National Book Award this year, so not new at all, but very hyped, and I just wanted to share my thoughts with you all about this book. So let me go ahead and preface this by saying that I do read and enjoy literary fiction. I have my qualms with the genre as a whole. I think a lot of times it takes itself too seriously and tends towards stuffiness and formulaic writing, but then again, every genre does that. Every genre has its problems. But I just wanted to clear the air. I'm not opposed to reading literary fiction in any way, shape, or form. And also, spoiler alert, consider yourself warned that we may be discussing some important plot details of this book as the video goes on. So Sing, Unburied, Sing is a novel that is told in multiple points of view from the perspective of Jojo, who is a young mixed-race boy who has just had his 13th birthday, his mother, Leonie, who is a black woman that is addicted to drugs and has been living in this sort of vicious cycle of poverty and loneliness, and then another character who we'll get to in a minute. It tells the story of the family as Jojo gets very close to his grandfather and listens to his grandfather tell stories. His grandfather was in this prison in Mississippi during the World War II era, and Jojo is always asking him about stories about what that was like and what the grandfather's life was like. But the family is a bit troubled because Jojo's dad has been in jail in the same prison where his grandfather was sort of working in this labor camp. It's different now. It's kind of like a more gentle thing, but they endured a lot of prison abuse during his grandfather's time. A lot of basically attempts to completely recreate what a plantation environment would be like during slavery. So yeah, trigger warning in the book for violence and lynching and racially motivated violence. Basically, if you can think of anything bad that would happen to somebody because people hate them because of their race, it happens in this book. So Jojo and his mother are going up to the prison to get his dad out of jail, and Jojo is finding himself, I guess, kind of haunted. The spirit of this young boy that his grandfather Pop knew when he was in prison. That boy is Richie. And what we find out as Jojo communes with the spirit of Richie is that Richie actually died in the prison. And he keeps asking Jojo, have you asked Pop about it? Have you asked him to tell you what happened to Richie? Da 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 da. And Jojo is not really ready to find out exactly why and how Richie died. So that's basically the thrust of the story. The narrative thrust of the story is trying to figure out where Richie fits into Jojo's idea of his Pop as he grows up, and Leonie them to get her life back together and get reunited with the father of her children and try and remain connected to her parents. Let me first off start by saying I did like it. I just don't think that this book was for me. I understand that it is a really important story and the writing was really good. I have no complaints to make about the writing. I just don't think that this story was for me, which is fine. Not every book is for everyone. I think one of my critiques of this book is that I liked the chapters that were told from Jojo and Richie's perspective a lot more than the ones told from Leonie's. I felt that the Leonie chapters didn't really advance the story very much. It seemed like the problems that she was dealing with were more of a side plot compared to what was going on with Jojo and Richie. I also think that not a lot really happened in this book. I don't know what I was expecting, but most of what it is Jojo and his family trying to drive up to the prison to get his dad, and his younger sister just is sick and throwing up in the car. A lot of this book was just a kid throwing up in the car. the story parts of it, like especially when Pop starts telling Jojo about what life was like in the prison and what life was like in the Mississippi Delta in the 1940s, those were really strong. I thought the relationship between Pop and Jojo was one of the strongest parts of the book, and the sort of dreamlike quality that the writing would take on when the author was writing through Richie's perspective. I think overall this book had a lot of really great elements. They just didn't really come together for me. It's not that the story wasn't compelling. I just didn't find myself particularly moved by most of it. I think that towards the end, as the action began to pick up and some things began to be revealed, I found myself a lot more invested in the story and the characters, and even Leonie, whose chapters I just did not really care for throughout most of the book. Even the Leonie chapters toward the end, I really began to enjoy, because I was like, oh yay, finally we're figuring stuff out and things are happening. I think that overall this book is an important book. It's a good book to read. It's a wonderful book if you want to read about a place, if you want to read a book that evokes a very strong sense of place, a very strong sense of history, and the way that a lot of literature about the South sort of collapses the timeline so that the past is present and the present is past. I just don't think it was for me. I feel really bad saying that because I really wanted to like this book, and I know a lot of people like this book, and it is very important, so I feel like I should be qualifying that by saying maybe I just wasn't smart enough to understand it, but no, I don't think that's what it is. I just think that it did not strike the same deep chord with me as it did with many others. I will be the first to admit that is probably because of my race. It is probably because I have never really had to deal with family members that went through unspeakable violence like this. Not on this level, at least. So yeah, I would recommend this book. I would recommend this book if you enjoy literary fiction, if you enjoy reading about the South, if you enjoy good quality writing. It just wasn't the book for me. So thank you all very much for watching my review of Sing Unburied Sing. Please be sure to give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and click the subscribe button if you'd like to see the next video that I post. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.